Okay, quick Thursday morning radar update. So we've got the tariff news came out last night after the market closed, and it's a very interesting time to just have a buzz through these markets. So markets are in a correction, we know that. What sectors have been showing up on our screens recently? Healthcare, pharmaceuticals, gold. They've been the real obvious ones, haven't they? Where is my allocation at the moment? Well, that's basically a lot of swings are in that area, and a lot of trends are in the gold area. So this morning it's a pretty green day, to be honest. It started off yesterday a bit red and it ended up really green, and this morning it's less red than it started yesterday, and we'll buzz through these and we'll have a look what's working. Something I kind of bang the table on here is, it's a known unknown. We know exactly what's coming up. Over the years, the longer you spend time in the markets, there's always something to worry about. There always will be. The more seat time, the less you worry about these things. I would say good bomb-proof risk management, good sense of humour. There shouldn't be anything to do on a day like today for me, and there isn't. So what do I do? Well, I'm going to run through the screens and I'm going to see what's acting like a salmon. What's swimming against the tide today. The markets are in a correction. We know that. It's very obvious, and for those of us, at trading bases, we don't disappear in the bad times. We step up in the bad times. Because we know this is where markets, good markets emerge. Just having a look at sort of Boohoo, what's now called Debs, and we're looking for these early stage bases. We're looking for growth, the best growth. These stocks will show themselves, and they're going to be more obvious in the market environment we're in. We're in a correction. The stocks what are booking the trend are more obvious to us, and that will just evolve into, as the right hand edge unwinds. It might be that the sector we're looking at today, what's working today, might go out of favour, and the next one will come in favour. But my point being is turning up and just seeing the evolution of the market, on an end of day basis especially, and just seeing what's trading those levels, what I focus on. Me being more on the longer term stuff, a trend based, and obviously trend based in the shorter term stuff, I'm always aligning my trades with the trend. So if I'm buying swing trades, I'm going to be focusing on the ones what are in an uptrend and pulling back, but early in an uptrend. Do you remember in NVIDIA we talked about it be, we call it the story zone at my site. The news always catches up after the trend. You've got to be before the news, before all the investors, the herd are talking about these stocks. Think Boohoo here. The herd was just climbing over themselves to be bullish on this stock at the end of the run, and it just lost that lovely linear sort of trending action and turned into a wide and loose, volatile, mid cap, larger cap. As they evolve these trends, that's what happens, and then all of a sudden they roll over. Another thing, a lot of these emerging trends, they're going to look overvalued if you use, if you get bent up on this kind of stuff. Same again. I've done articles on this. I've shared this in ShareScope articles. Boohoo was overvalued for the whole journey, and when the sort of valuation went below where investors start to call it, value again, it went on to lose. We can adjust this now. 85% of its value. So it did its trending up move. Overvalued. What is overvalued? In demand. What is undervalued? Out of favour. Keep it simple. Backtest it. Don't hate me for that. I've been sat here a long, long time and I've watched people climb over themselves following these popular sort of posters on this stuff. And, they come and go. They come and go. But to be in the markets long term, you've got to get all this sort of mumbo jumbo out of your sort of vocabulary and start making money. Start doing things protect the account in bad markets, get on the gas in good markets, and never fight with price. So coming to fighting with price, price action in the stocks I was trading and I am trading today, the price action has been good, and that told me that the tariffs are probably not going. There will be a whipsaws. It's not an exact, is it? But that told me that these stocks are acting well. That means they're not worried about the tariff tantrum or whatever you want to call it. The big orange man. They're not. Then these stocks were not worried about that. In a terrible market, it doesn't matter what your growth is, what your valuations are. It doesn't really matter. Conviction, throw it out the window. In a terrible market, say a market crash, the tail end of the pandemic, correlations go to 1. Everything moves together. All the gold stocks go down with everything else. And the simple way to sort of be in tune with what you should be looking at, the stocks what are going to be the next Salmon, what leading stocks we're looking for. The simple way is just to look at the stocks what on. It's not about finding the most beaten up stocks, the ones what are down the most. It's about finding the ones what are down the least, because they're the strongest stocks. Price action will never lie. Will be whipsaws again. Talking about this last night, everyone wants to be a trend follower, whether they like it or not. Everyone wants to ride a trend. Doesn't matter what they call themselves. It really doesn't matter. I'm a long-term. Yeah, you want to ride a trend. At the end of the day, if you trade in stocks, you want to catch a trend, and the bigger the trend, the better. So, what is contrarian? Buying breakouts. Buying breakouts is contrarian. Not just buying, in this occasion, buying falling knives actually worked, didn't it? But buying breakouts, it's very contrarian. Very few people can do that, especially in a bad market. They'd rather be looking for bargains. Good stocks don't trade at bargain basement prices. You're going to find them setting up, coiling up, and getting ready. So some won't make it. There will be rotation in that watch list. If you compile a watch list of all your best ideas, a lot won't make it, but all the best trends are going to make that step. They're all going to break out, all of them. It's impossible for them not to break out. If they're going to be a big winner, they will all hit the same sort of screens. So being contrarian is actually, buying highs. Very few people can do it. Psychologically, it's difficult. But, I step up every evening at Trading Bases, and I run the screens. I don't hide away behind the sofa because the market's bad. We step up every day and we do we do the end of day routine. And by doing that, you get to know the stocks, what you should be looking at. At the moment, MTL being a star performer for us, been in it for a long, long time. But still, it's up at highs. It's where we want to see it. It's coiling up at highs. It doesn't mean it can't pull back into this range. but this is a longer term trend I'm riding here. If it trades down below my trailing stop, yeah, I will exit it. That money will be ready for the next salmon. What makes the leap? So that is what I do. With that in mind, we'll just quickly have a look at the markets again. The UK market's acting pretty good against a lot of the markets out there. And I'll just hit the up on day screen. And basically, I've got this ordered by sector. So obviously, healthcare, pharmaceuticals. I'll just buzz through these and we'll just see what's actually up today. It's got a trend filter under it, this. But should I take the trend filter off? Hang on a minute. Let me just... No, I'll just leave the trend filter on. So these are stocks what are up short term. As you can see, the trend is up over this time frame. So it's only a short term trend filter. It's the shortest one I use. But I'll just buzz through these and we'll have a quick look what's up on the day. Wise. Kind of an obvious one for us, really, Wise, but I didn't take it myself. SN, yep. Skin in the game. ADM, yep. Another one from the end of day screens. AstraZeneca, yep. It's on our screens, isn't it? Glaxo, not as good sort of action as AZ. Well, it's better now. It's just pulled into mean trend actually. HLN, yeah. As you know, I've got a position. HIK, sorry, hiccups. Right move. These are stocks what are up on the day. There's a few REITs in there as well. Currys, we saw Currys on the screen. Next, I've drawn the sort of pullback in this. Oh, one to watch in the US, Nike. Having, what's that? Is it 40% tariffs for Vietnam? Crikey. Nike's got about 500,000 sort of workers and dozens of factories out there. So it's getting whacked in the pre, I think. It's getting whacked in one of its open markets. Next, I'm just going to hit the volume leaders today and see what's up on volume. And as just, I'm like a broken record. You don't need to make this complicated. It's not that complicated. I'll just put 18% in to see what's on volume today. There's no need to overcomplicate these things, All stocks what are turning up will hit these screens. All stocks what are, and this will evolve over the weeks, months, All stocks what are breaking out will hit the breakout screens, intraday and end of day. There's no need to sort of complicate this, and from there, I move on to I run a pool of stocks, so I order my sort of screener by the cancelling style stocks, what's fine tuned for the UK as well, for what I call GTRS stocks. I a displacement watch list where the technical and fundamentals I use, and the strong technicals, they float to the surface. And that's the pool of stocks I will be doing business in, because they will be structurally holding up at the very least, or trending. GGP there. That was a cheapie, wasn't it? These are just the ones that are on volume. the other screen was the ones that were up on the day. It's quite a hard screen to pass that one as well. So yeah, keep it simple. Let's quickly have a look at gold again. Just having a down day today, but gold stocks have been stepping up again, haven't they? They kind of went to sleep and for a while, didn't they, the gold stocks? But they've stepped up. They've traded some nice swing moves, and hopefully they can continue for some time to come. Time will tell. So I will leave it there. It'd be interesting to see how the US market opens. I've got a little bit of exposure, but not much. And yeah, we've got this known unknown behind us, and we'll see what the markets throw at us over the next week or so.